You ready to show them? You want to show them favorite pasta? Huh? You love it, don't you? One of our favorite pastas in the Fieri family is carbonara. Now, carbonara is one of those dishes that I think has been screwed up so many times, but I'm gonna show you how I do carbonara, and you're gonna love it. So why does Smokey like carbonara? Because it all kicks off with pancetta, right? Huh, Smokey Dog? Yeah, a little beggar. So pancetta is bacon, but it's not smoked. Right here, that's the bacon. If we unravel this, we can. If we unravel this, that's the pork belly right there. The Italians make it look a lot cooler. So what we've done is asked for about a 1/4 inch. We're gonna go ahead and give it about the same 1/4 inch, well, maybe a 1/2 inch. Give it a little cut. The colder this pancetta is, the easier it's gonna be to work with. When it starts getting a little warm, it starts getting a little slick, it starts sliding around. So carbonara, what is it again? So it's pancetta, egg yolks, little parsley, and some great pasta, and that's just about it, folks. When you start seeing peas in it, when you start seeing heavy cream added to it, you're not really having carbonara. I think this is about as close to traditional as you'll find. I could be screwing something up, but this is the way we make it, okay? So I've got a pan here, diced up that pancetta. I don't want to be too hot when I go into the pan. So we're just gonna let this go medium to low heat. If we get this too hot too fast, we're not gonna render that fat out. We're gonna use that fat in the dish, but most importantly is we want that pancetta to be nice and crispy. Okay, pancetta's working, rendering down nicely. Hot water, boiling water, screaming water. This water's gotta be going. And how much water are we looking for? Come on, I'm gonna ask you at home. I know you're checking your phone right now. It's 1 gallon of water to a tablespoon of salt. This is where we miss it so often. People go like this, and I'm not kidding you, I watch it all the time. Okay, we're salted. No way. This is getting salted, okay? I don't eat pasta like I used to, but I'll tell you what, when we're gonna do it right. We're gonna use the right amount of water, we're gonna salt it the right way, and we're gonna use great pasta. And the pasta we're gonna use is called bucatini, okay? Bucatini is spaghetti with a hole in the middle. Right there. I'm gonna tell you a statement that we use all the time, and that is pasta waits for no one. I want this sauce done, I want this ready to go, and then I'll drop my pasta. And the reason is, as long as it's hot and as long as it has moisture, it's gonna continue to cook. And the deal is, overcooked pasta, nothing could be worse. We know how to cut the onion, right? Simple little method, cut off the top. That's where the onion grew from. That's the belly button of the onion. If you keep this onion together, it's gonna make it a lot easier to dice. Now, make sure we peel down deep enough into that onion because that one layer that you don't go and grab, like this one right here, it's like shoe leather. You can cut it up all you want, it's never gonna break down. Get that real nice, tender, juicy inside of the onion. We'll cut through here. This is gonna give us the chance to almost have it pre-diced. Look at it, make sure it's uniform. We want that onion to really disappear into this dish. Let's get into the pasta. There's a lot going on in the world of pasta. There's great pastas, there's cheap pastas. Why does one cost a bunch and one cost a little? I want you to look at the pasta here real quick. And it's got kind of this dry texture to it, almost kind of like it's handmade. I want you to spend the money. You're gonna notice that when you cook this pasta, it's gonna take it longer to cook. It's gonna be harder. You're gonna be mixing it in here. And you're like, why is this thing so hard? Because it's the way the pasta's dried. When the pasta gets a chance to really naturally dry, it's gonna lose more of its moisture. The more moisture that's out of it, the drier the pasta is, the longer it takes to reconstitute or rehydrate, okay? So the bucatini, water's boiling. We're gonna go in. Now this is where it gets critical, folks. I'm not ready, because my pancetta's not ready. Hang on a second. And I've got this slotted spoon so I can pull the pancetta. Let me let that pancetta continue to work. Let me get into my eggs real quick. I got a lot of moving parts here. It's simple, but it's super important to follow the rules with this. The eggs. So we're gonna go, the better the egg. When we have the eggs from the chicken coop, the organic eggs, I mixed that up, I went backwards, but it's all right. Egg yolks. The better, if you can find really dynamite organic eggs where those yolks are just golden orange, it's just gonna make you better carbonara. Get the whites out, more yolks the better. And you know I'm not an egg fan, right? But I'll tell you something, the one time that they really do work is for this and for Caesar dressing. All right, take a look at this. Nice, crispy, beautiful pancetta. I should probably taste that just in the name of science. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Still tender, not too crispy. Let that fat sit at the bottom of the pan. And why am I doing this? Because I want to reserve that fat. Now, this isn't the same kind of fat, the same kind of flavor that you get from bacon. This isn't nearly as smoky. This is actually a little bit saltier. And I can't, why did I not put the onions in right now? Because I don't want to waste my crispiness. You know, I'll tell you something. I remember when I first got on the Food Network, someone walked up to me and said, hey, when you do a cookbook, can you make sure that the recipes are real? And I said, what does that mean? They said, well, I bought some of those cookbooks from some of the famous chefs. And, oh, look who just showed up. Hi, Smokey. Said, I bought one of those cookbooks, and I don't know that the recipe was that real. And I said, well, what happened? Well, I did this, I did this. I said, wait a second, did you follow the steps, or did you just add all the ingredients? Yeah, I don't know ingredients. I mean, why do you have all the steps? They make it a lot harder that way. I said, because that's the whole process. You shortcut this, you put those onions in with that pancetta right now, you're gonna sog up that pancetta, all that moisture coming in from the onion. And we get to use that delicious fat. All right, so we're gonna let the onions sweat a little bit. Let me give that a touch of salt. Gotta watch the salt content of this. You're gonna have salt. I'm gonna help this to pull some of the moisture out of the onions, but let's watch it. We got a lot of salt in the pancetta. Not all pancetta is the same, all right? So you get that pancetta that's super salty, your dish is gonna be salty. Plus, we have my favorite cheese, Parmigiano-Reggiano. This is from Parma, Italy. This is the bomb. Hunter and I were in Italy together, and when we went through Parma, we went and actually made Parmesan cheese.
I'm going to cheese heaven.
This is it, man. This is the key. Again, when I talk about critical basics, really good eggs, really good Parmesan cheese, really good bucatini, really good pancetta. Do it the right way, and you're gonna have a rock star dish. I get a little cracked black pepper. All right, we're gonna drop pasta. Still boiling water. You start potatoes in cold water and bring them to a simmer. But why do we start pasta with boiling water and drop it in? Well, the potato we're cooking from the inside out, and we're cooking this big potato. On this pasta, we are literally cooking from the outside in, and we're gonna get right to the inside of the pasta where it just has a little bit of bite to it, and what we call al dente, dente tooth, Latin, I guess. But that is the key, is the pasta waits for no one. This is all ready to go. We'll drop the pasta. Remember, we salted it with a tablespoon of salt. No, there's no breaking the pasta. Take a look right here. This is starting to cook, and this is sitting out. We spent a little bit of time, that first 30 seconds, and get in here and work this around and make sure that everybody's in the pool. You also notice that I have the strainer inside of the pot. It gives us a chance to pull the pasta immediately, not have to go to the sink and do all that, but it also retains that pasta water, which is gonna be super critical in the finale of this dish because we're not gonna add cream to it, and we have to have some other body, some other medium to work with to make this nice and creamy, and it's gonna be that pasta water. One of the things I always say about cooking, you gotta be present. When you're here doing this isn't time to check your email. Anything gets off, we burn those onions or over-caramelize them, we overcook that pasta, we overcook this pancetta, anything. There's only a few spokes in this wheel of the bike going to Flavor Town, all right? So we can't mess that up. We gotta stay with it. Onions are almost done. Our pasta's just about finished. I've got some of this Parmigiano-Reggiano, really nicely grated. We're gonna mix that in to the eggs, and then we're gonna temper the eggs into this mixture with the onions. And when I say temper, we gotta go in nice and slow, otherwise we're gonna make ourselves an omelet, and that's not what we want. This is where it gets kind of, not iffy, but you really gotta be on top of this. Onions are beautiful. Take a look at that pasta, and I'm on that pasta all day long. I can tell by when I start pulling it out of the pot whether or not we're there. Just a little white dot in the center of it. Take my gonna go into a mixing bowl. Now, why into the mixing bowl and not into the pan? I wanna show you a method that I think is gonna be a little bit more helpful to you, because if you go into this pan and it's super, super hot, you have a real good chance of cooking these eggs. So now I'm gonna take my onions with the pancetta fat right in there. I've got my eggs done with my Parmesan cheese, and I am mixing this as fast as I can to keep this from setting up on me and turning into an omelet. Oh, I am telling you, you're gonna love this. A little bit more of the egg. Can't have really enough egg in this. Did you ever think you'd hear that from me? Now, as we say, and as I've learned forever, pasta is not a castle. So it should not sit in a moat of sauce. We are amalgamating all those beautiful onions, that Parmesan cheese, and those eggs, and it should just be sticking right to that pasta with that cheese. Oh. Fortunately, I'm so quick with the knife, I won't have to worry about this. Should have my parsley prepped out. I want to add a little color to this. It really needs it, and that little herbaceousness. That pasta was retaining some water, but you could see how it started to dry up a little bit. Just a touch of water, not a bunch. It's gonna rehydrate. What it's gonna do is it's gonna let that creaminess of that cheese wake back up. Just give myself a little serving of this. I want you to see how golden. Nest the pasta when we put it down and stand it up a little bit. Grab some of the bits from the bottom. Is your mouth watering yet? Mine is. Okay. Touch more of that cheese. And you know the great thing about this, and we do this a lot for Christmas, is we serve in courses. And I'll serve pasta just like that, a small, little, beautiful portion. Let me show you the right way to get into this pasta, by the way. We don't use any spoons. Once you grab the edge of that fork, grab about 2 strands, and I want you to bring that pasta right over here to the side. And you can tell it's al dente the way it kind of sweeps that plate. It's simple, it's basic, and it's tons of flavor. Got the old Triple D step back. When you watch Triple D and I take a bite of something and it really gets going, that's what happens. Not one piece of this is standing out past the other. You get the crispy bacon, you get the creaminess, that unctuous sauce made from the cheese and the egg. You get that beautiful sweetness from the caramelized onion. And the perfectly cooked pasta. People are flying in to get the recipe. You guys got it, check it out, make it at home. Your family's gonna love it. Adios.